สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ so sorry my Zoom just crashed okay welcome we have 13 people awesome okay so I think we can start now how are you guys doing are you guys ready
Yes
yes all right any
We're
questions
good.
cool any questions before we begin no everyone's doing good okay awesome for those of you who still have your cameras off please make sure to turn on your camera when you're presenting and everyone has a slide right everyone has done the PowerPoint or Canvas already I am so excited okay ขอบคุณค่ะพี่มารี okay do I have คุณแพม with me here คุณแพมสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะขออนุญาตคุณแพมช่วยเรียกน้องให้หน่อย
ได้
ได้ไหม
ค่ะ
คะ
ได้ค่ะ ได้ค่ะ
ค่ะได้เลยค่ะ
นะคะ
Okay so what we're going to do I think because we don't have a lot of a lot of people so we can do an individual feedback okay so at the end of your speech I'll give you feedback is that okay and if you want the feedback to be in Thai just let me know โอเคนะคะ โอเค คุณแพมเชิญเลยค่ะ น้องคนแรก คนไหนเอ่ย
คนแรกน้องสุภาวดีวิตาเดชชัยค่ะ พี่04ค่ะ แล้วค่ะ
What
ใช่ค่ะ คุณการนัดดาค่ะ
Pavita Dechai It's a pleasure to have
Hi.
you with in the presentation today. Today I am here to talk to you about who is your role model for an ambassador of peace. My role model is Kaila Satyathi, earlier becoming the second Indian after Mother Teresa, who received the Nobel Peace Prize, Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistani girls' education activist. Few have heard of Kailash Satyarthi name, but they are far behind Malala, better known as a girl who dared to defy the Taliban until she was nearly shot to death. Indian Nobel laureate born in a small town in Madhya Pradesh in central India studied to become an electrical engineer, but chose to go off Broad Street. He wants to do something for society. It started from the day he went to school for the first time and noticed a 6-year-old boy about his old age, helping the shoemaker's father work in front of the school. Once asked the teacher, got the answer, because they were poor. One day, he granted the calf to ask the boy's father, why didn't my son go to school like other kids? The father replied, we were born to work. K.An said he didn't believe that answer. The indication allies why do some people have so many dreams? Some people don't know why. Some people are born to work while many others want to enjoy life. In 1891, Kaila resigned from her job to become an NGO by establishing the BBA mainly aimed at helping children who are in labor. More than 30 years ago, Kaila and his organization helped free the children. More than 80,000 people, some as young as 5 and 6, were employed by brutal bloggers, businessmen, landowners and border owners. The BBA has also used number of techniques to lobby politicians, called the National Human Rights Commission, and district institutions to enforce child rights law, including speeding hearing, the movement to make free and compulsory education a child's constitutional right in 2009. He is aware really that Parliament must not be used as an excuse for child labor. It is child labor that makes poverty permanent if the child is deprived of education of opportunities until it stays later. After receiving Kaila said, there is no greater violence than to divide the dreams of our children. Thank you.
Okay, thank you ค่ะSuphavita, do you want feedback in Thai or in English?
In Thai.
โอเคค่ะสิ่งที่ชอบมากเลยนะคะที่ทำได้ดีมากคือเรื่องของ matter นะคะมีข้อมูลเยอะมากแล้วก็ข้อมูลน่าสนใจนะคะที่มีประวัติของเขาเนาะว่าเขาทำอะไรมาบ้างใช่ไหมคะแล้วเขาสำคัญยังไงกับ East เนาะอันเนี้ยทำได้ดีนะคะทีนี้สิ่งที่จะดียิ่งขึ้นกว่านี้นะคะก็คือเรื่องของหนึ่งก็คือ manner เนาะเวลาเรา present อย่างเงี้ยเวลาเราก้มลงอ่านบทเยอะๆอ่ะมันทำให้เราไม่ได้ connect กับผู้ชมของเราถูกไหมคะอันนี้มันทำให้ power ในการส่งข้อมูลน่ะมันน้อยลงเนาะเพราะนั้น manner นะคะพยายามดูบทให้น้อยที่สุดแล้วกันเนาะหมายความว่าไงก็ต้องซ้อมบ่อยนิดนึงแล้วก็พยายามเขียนเป็นคีย์เวิร์ดนะคะแล้วก็เราอาจจะใช้คำของเราก็ได้เราไม่จำเป็นจะต้องอ่านจากสคริปต์ทุกคำนะคะคำอาจจะไม่ต้องถูกต้องก็ได้ลูกแต่ว่าให้มันออกมาจากความเข้าใจของเราเองนะคะอันนี้ก็คือเรื่องของmanner นะคะอีกอันหนึ่งก็คือ method เนาะเวลาที่เรา present อย่างเงี้ยค่ะอันเนี้ยมีระเบียบในการเล่าเรื่องดีนะคะก็คือยึดตามไทม์ไลน์ใช่ไหมว่าเหตุการณ์มันเกิดอะไรขึ้นบ้างค่ะในตัวของสไลด์อะค่ะเวลาที่หนูโชว์สไลด์เนี่ยวันเนี้ยสไลด์มามันเป็นภาพใช่ไหมคะสไลด์สุดท้ายอะดีมากเลยที่เป็นภาพเขาแล้วก็เป็นquote ขึ้นมาใช่ไหมคะแต่ว่าสไลด์ก่อนหน้านั้นน่ะพี่คิดว่าเราสามารถใส่คีย์เวิร์ดเข้าไปได้นะคะสมมุติว่ามันมีคีย์เวิร์ดคำสำคัญอะไรที่เราอยากให้คนฟังอะค่ะเขาจำได้เพราะว่าเวลาเขาฟังแล้วเขาดูสไลด์ไปพร้อมกันน่ะเขาจะได้จับใจความได้ว่าอ๋อthere are 3 keywords นะสำหรับคนคนนี้นะคะหนึ่งก็คือ children education children's dream อะไรอย่างเงี้ยเนาะก็คือสามารถใส่สรุปคีย์เวิร์ดไว้ในสไลด์ได้ด้วยนะคะเพิ่มไปนอกนั้นนะคะก็โอเคนะถือว่าทำได้ดีนะคะตื่นเต้นไหม
ตื่นเต้น
ตื่นเต้นเนาะโอเคแต่ว่าดูไม่ตื่นเต้นเลยก็แสดงว่าควบคุมอารมณ์ได้ดีนะคะควบคุมการพรีเซนต์ได้ดีก็ถือว่าทำได้ดีเลยนะปรับปรุงนิดหน่อยนะคะขอให้โชคดีนะคะโอเคคนที่1เสร็จแล้วโอเค next
ขอต่อไปคนที่2นะคะP08ค่ะน้องธนิดาเจติยานันท์ค่ะ
ขออนุญาตอันนี้อุปกรณ์นิดนึงนะคะรู้สึกมันจะมีปัญหานิดหน่อยตอนนี้เห็นสกรีนใช่ไหมคะเห็นสกรีนไหมครับ
เห็นค่ะ
เห็นไหม
เห็น
คะ
ค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ Hello everyone and every audience. My name is Tanida Jetianan. I'm from Chonrasaram Amrung School. So today I will present about who's your role model for the peace, the ambassador of peace. So my role model is Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan is the man who made a history as the first Black African to become a UN Secretary General, he is one of the most recognizable diplomats in modern history. From his dedications to promoting peace and solving the problems with the spread of HIV and AIDS. Mr. Anand was born on 1938 in Kumasi in the British colonial Gold Coast of Presentation Ghana. He was the son of wealthy and educated family and had a female twins named Yofa Atta. Mr. Anand attended the Universities of Science and Technology in Kumasi and graduated in economics from Macalester College in St. Paul, Minnesota in the United States in 1961. Then studied economics studies and Institute of International Affairs in Geneva, Swiss Confederation from 1961 to 1962. And received the master's degrees in administrations from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology or MIT in 1972. So Mr. Anand started working in an international relations and United Nations affairs, joining the administrations of budget of work, the World Health Organization in 1962. He was worked for African Economic Commissions, Addis Ababa of Ethiopia, and staffed in the United Nations High Commissioners for Refugees in Geneva. He was seen to have a number of senior positions at United Nations headquarters in New York City, USA, including Human Resources Affairs, Budget and Finance, and peacekeeping work. And his notable achievement during the period including the peacekeeping operations as Deputy Secretary of General UN, when overseas more 17,000 militaries and civilian personnel work of the United Nations around the world and hold the positions of Special Representative of the Secretary General of the United Nations to overseas Yugoslavia between 1995 and 1996, including overseeing the reputations of more than 900 UN staff for the Iraq from conflict between Iraq and Kuwait. Mr. Anand became the 7th UN Secretary General on January 1, 1997, making history of the first Black African to hold the positions, which during the tenure of Mr. Anand has played a number of important roles, such as serving of effecting reform the UN, human rights advocacy, setting in the Millennium Development Goals, and effort to bring the UN closer to civil society. As for peacekeeping, Mr. Anand has played on a role as a meditator in meditation, international disputes Iraq, 1998, Nigeria, 1999, Israel, Lebanon, 2000, and peacekeeping in Libya and Timor-Leste, or East Timor. As a result, the UN continues to play a proactive role in creating world peace. This peacekeeping has worked as a result. Mr. Anand and the UN were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2001. And the following years in the UN member states vote for Mr. Anand to serve as Secretary General in the United Nations. For second terms, Mr. Anand continued to strengthen peace and humanitarianism in various fields until the end of his term in 2006. So at last, I will tell about a quote from Mr. Kofi Annan. To live is to choose, but no choose well. You must know who you are and what you stand for, where you want to go, and why you want to get there. Thank you to give me the opportunities and for the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, Tanida, thank you. Do you want feedback in Thai or English?
Maybe you can go for like English.
Okay, great. So what went well in that presentation was again similar to Supawita. You had very good information about what Kofi Annan did, his contribution to creating peace, and his role at the UN. So that was really good. The method of presentation was a bit too wordy. So this is a completely opposite problem than the first one, which is in one slide, when you have a lot of information, when you have a lot of words, a lot of text, it takes away from the power the slide can convey, right? So when you present the slide and you only read off what is on the presentation, your audience can read the same thing as well, right? So what we want is to create emotional connection. We want to, maybe have more pictures and less of the wording and more of, like something that can create interest. And that could be video, pictures, whatever, right? So next time, try to have less words and only stick with the keywords, okay? Now, in terms of manner, I think when you were speaking, you're reading off the script, that's okay. But as you were reading, I think you were twisting around quite a lot. So it seems like, you were nervous.
Yeah, it's like an
right?
office chair, so.
Yeah. So be very careful when you speak, right? You want to control the stage. When as you're presenting in real life, you would be centered, right? You'd be standing still. So when you're twisting around, the audience becomes distracted, right? And also your voice becomes shaky. So you want to center yourself, and you want to limit your movement and only use your movement to convey certain meaning, right? So when there is an important message you want to convey, for example, the quote at the end, you want to pause a bit and then deliver the quote, okay? And then maybe use your hand to kind of emphasize the importance of the quote. That way you can convey more powerful message. So that's all about the presentation manner method. One thing that I'd like to see from all of you, and this also applies to Supawita, the first one as well. I think what was missing from these two speeches was why this person is your role model. Why is this person important to you, right? We hear all the great things that they have done to the world, but why is it that you look up to them? What's the quality in this person, right? So it's very easy for someone to take something off the internet. I could, Google anyone. I can Google Kofi Annan, but why is it important to me, right? That's what the judges want to hear. That's, the power of the message. Why is this important to you? Why did you choose this person? You can say, I admire his dedication. I admire the work that he has done. I admire the quality of this person, right? And that makes the speech more personal. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much. All right. Let's move on to the third one. Kun Pam ค่ะ
คนต่อไปเลยนะคะ
ค่ะ
ค่ะหน้าพี่12ค่ะเด็กหญิงนาตาลีนาค่ะเทพบุตร
Yes, should I start or?
Yes, please.
Hold on just a second, sorry. I'm not sure if everything's working. Okay. Hi, I'm Nina. I'm presenting about my role model for Ambassador of Peace. Personally, I don't really find one person to be an ambassador of peace. I find multiple people to be that. Personally, I can't find a single person fit for this title. If I'm not mistaken, an ambassador is supposed to be a single person representing something, someone, somewhere, etc. In this specific topic, peace, I believe that one person cannot do that. I think it should be people instead of person. It is the good community of people that should be the representatives instead of one person that gets most credit and criticism out of all. Fixing a problem as big as discrimination and other big problems, it's really hard and almost impossible to do alone. You can't stop things like that when you're doing that stuff. So it's just better to work with others. But if you think you can do it on your own, you are therefore a little blind to the bigger problem and the bigger solution. Why not one person, you may ask? Well, really think about it. Teamwork sounds childish, and it sounds like something they would say to you when you're in kindergarten, but it really does apply to almost everything you have in the real world now. To be honest, it's very special to me because, yes, I did have my parents growing up, but also the people around me also helped me realize what was my surroundings, what I needed to do, and also raised me in a form of way. Entire communities could do things all together. They raised millions of dollars, baht, to charities and other things, and also have done a lot of stuff for singular people that have been really meaningful to them. Thank you.
All right, is that it? Did you get to present the last slide? I saw you have some text on the last slide. Do you want to say something about it, or is that just all?
The last slide is text, but I prefer not to read off directly, so I just said what I thought would be better in speaking terms.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Lena. I love the take on, it's not just one person, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's not just one person to create peace, right? So I thought that was really personal, and I really appreciate you like being authentic about your view. So that's really good. The slide was nice, very like aesthetically pleasing, nice to see. I like the structure as well. Manner, great. Now, one thing that I'd like to see more is actually an example of a community that makes it that is able to achieve peace together, right? Because you're edging towards, it's not just one person, but it's a community, people coming together, people contributing to each other. So maybe just an example of how that can happen in real life, right? And, maybe like a plum village example in France, or maybe something that you can find in the local community, right? So that would kind of create more tangible example of how this can actually be achieved in the real world. Yeah, all right. But yeah, thank you so much. That was great. โอเคค่ะขอบคุณค่ะคนต่อไปเลยค่ะ
ค่ะคนต่อไปนะคะ น้องกลวัฒน์มาเสมอค่ะที่20ค่ะ
สักครู่นะครับ
โอเคค่ะ กลวัฒน์ได้ยินไหมคะ Okay, I think maybe we have a technical issue a bit. เอ่อคุณแพมค่ะ เดี๋ยวเรา
ค่ะ
ไปคนต่อไปก่อนได้ไหม
ได้
คะ
ค่ะ
น้
ถ้า
อง
งั้น
น่าจะค้างอะ
โอเคค่ะ ถ้างั้นเป็นน้องจุลพัฒน์ตันติชัยบริบูรณ์นะคะ P25 โอเคไหม
ใช่ครับ
โอเค
เห็นสไลด์ใช่ไหมครับ
เห็นค่ะ
โอเคครับ Hi, let's talk about my role model for peace. But first, let me mention the importance of role models. A role model is like a guide. There are guides that have the passion of wanting you to be inspired by what you believe or are good at. Everyone has their own best role models in various categories based on what they prefer and aspire to be. But whatever role model each person has, it all leads to the same goal, to be successful and happy with your life. So, who is my role model for peace? The answer is my ideal self. You may be wondering by now why I decided to choose my ideal self. Isn't there any other better people to be in this scenario? First of all, I want to clarify that it's not wrong to choose others as role models for peace. But personally, I feel that I would like to have my ideal self as an inspiration for achieving peace. Since everyone can control their own lives, both physically and mentally, it's the simplest and most possible role model to adapt to yet, because throughout your entire life, you are the person who knows yourself the best about what you want it to be. So how can your ideal self be a role model for peace? Well, as a human being, you all and I can have different personalities. So if I'm able to reflect back on myself and take my ideal personality as an inspiration for my present self, it can help me to develop a growth mindset in order to live peacefully in society. Or if to put it simply, peace starts from having the ability to improve your inner self. If I can be one of the many voices that has the vision of promoting and creating peace in mankind, happiness and goodness can later be spread throughout the society. At that time, it is when I can proudly say that my ideal self is the role model for myself in peace, or maybe even for others. I wanted to emphasize that it is possible for anyone to have their ideal self as a role model for anything. In the end, anyone can be the perfect role model for peace for others, as long as your finest role model of choice can inspire you to spread goodness in society, then there can be peace in humanity. These are my references and inspirations. Thank you.
Cool, really cool. All right. I really like the creativity here, and I think you have done a really good job in structuring the speech based on questions, right? Why not others? How can my ideal self be role model for peace? Because you have those questions, it's easy for the audience to follow along with your message. And so I think that was really powerful. Manner is great, really powerful, really connecting with the audience, very clear in your articulation. So awesome job. That's one thing that I think would make it more powerful is maybe some of the initiatives or some of the things that you think you can, like do for peace in the future, because we're talking about aspiration, right? Like, things that can create peace, things that your ideal self can do. And that could be taking some examples from people in history, or maybe something that you feel that are not working right now that your ideal self can work towards, right? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about creating peace. So yeah, absolutely great that we have our ideal self to be someone to bring about peace, but the next question is how, right? So I think that would make it more powerful. All right, thank you so much. That's really nice. โอเคคนต่อ
ค
ไป
นต่อ
ค่ะเดี๋ย
ไป
วนะ
เล
คะ
ยนะคะพี่
น้อง
34
ก
ค
ล
รับ
วัฒน์กลับมาหรือยัง
ยังเลยค่ะน้องกลวัฒน์เหมือนออกไปจากห้องแล้วค่ะตอนนี้แล้วก็เหมือนยังไม่เข้ามาในห้องหลั
โอก เค
เลยค่ะใช่
โอเคอาจจะ
ใช่ค่ะถ้างั้นเป็น
technical issue นิ
พี่
ดหน่อย
34นะคะ น้องปุญญาพรเขตคำค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ ไม่ทราบว่าเห็นสไลด์หรือเปล่าคะ
เห็นค่ะ
เห็นค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ So good afternoon everyone. Everyone has a different approach to peace, but the same goal is to create peace and prevent conflict. And now I'm going to talking about who is your role model. My role model is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is an important person in the world. He eliminated racial discrimination. That is his timeline. He has been a mainstay of apartheid protests. Mandela was detained in 1964. He was freed in 1990. He has served as president. So when he was young, in that era, white had more rights than black. Legislation that prohibited black from going to school, hospital, and pays for white were often much better than black.
ปุญญาพรค่ะ I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Do you mean to do a PowerPoint, a presentation mode? Because we're only seeing the cover page now.
Sorry, give me a minute.
Sure.
เห็นหรือยังคะ
ค่ะ
ให้เริ่มใหม่ตั้งแต่แรกเลยไหมคะ
ได้ค่ะ หนูอยากเปิดให้เป็น presentation mode ไหมเอ่ย หรือว่าเป็นแบบนี้ได้นะคะ แต่ว่าหนูต้องต้องเปลี่ยนสไลด์ไปด้วยอะค่ะ
ก็คือให้หนูกดสไลด์ไปด้วยถูกไหมคะ
ใช่ใช่จ้ะ
โอเคค่ะ
โอเค
โอเคขอเริ่มใหม่ตั้งแต่แรกนะคะ
Yep fine.
Everyone has a different approach to peace, but the same goal is to create peace and provide conflict. And now I'm going to talk about who is your role model for peace. My role model is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is an important person in the world. He eliminated racial discrimination. Here is Nelson Mandela's timeline. He has been a mainstay of the apartheid protests. Mandela was detained in 1964. He was freed in 1990, and he has served as president. When he was young, in that era, white had more rights than black. Legislation that prohibited black from going to school, hospital, and pays for white were often much better than black. South Africa has an apartheid policies. White and black in South Africa must live clearly separate live. Black people live very hard, and Mandela has an idea that everyone should have equal rights. Nelson Mandela has been a mainstay of the apartheid protest, violent demonstration by the ANC Young Legal result in Mandela being sentenced in life in prison in 1964. At that time, the authority banned the publishing of his photograph, and it is illegal to offer his speech in public. International complaint called the South Africa authority to release Mandela. Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years, but he was finally freed in 1990. Mandela out of prison like a hero. He is now all over the world, and apartheid policy were replied in 1991. Nelson Mandela has served as president. He united people of all race and color. Nelson used negotiation with negotiating partner with empathy to achieve justice. There's no advantage or disadvantage, but make both he and President Frederick William Deschamps were awarding a Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. At the 1995 Rugby World Cup, Mandela sponsored a South Africa rugby team who allied were mostly white, causing a lot of nation unity. He died in 2013, but Mandela will continue to be remembered by the world as a man who promoted world peace unity. Thank you.
Okay, nice pictures and nice images of the events. I think some of the slides are hard to read นะคะอย่างเช่นslide number 4 where you have the text in the background and you have you have the picture image in the background and then you have text in yellow. It makes it a bit hard to see. And I think, you know, maybe limit the text to only the keyword. Yeah. Okay. But what I really liked was your manner, your voice was very nice. You have this very energetic tone. Your intonation is up and down, and you know it's very pleasant to hear. However, I think you're still reading off script quite a lot, right? And also with the camera angle, we can only see up to your nose. So maybe you angle the camera down a little bit so we can see all your face, right? So the audience can feel like they can connect with you. And again, a nice job on the research. Now we know about Nelson Mandela. We know why he's important. Still, one question to answer is why is he important to you, right? Why is black and white peace between blacks and white? Why is that important to you, right? Why is that personal? Why do you look up to him? Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Golawat is back. Golawat, are you ready to go?
ได้ครับผมได้ครับ
Okay.
เห็นหน้าจอใช่ไหมครับ
เห็นค่ะ
โอเคครับขอบมากครับ Good afternoon everyone. My name is Golawat Masamer from Benjamin Residency School in Chachoengsao. It's my pleasure to meet you all. So today I'm going to present my point of view about role model for Ambassador of Peace. When I have to think of a person who actively involved in peace, I think of a single who dubbed as the King of Pop. When I say the King of Pop, I think many of you know who it is. Of course, he is Michael Joseph Jackson, as known as Michael Jackson. So after I say Michael Jackson, Some of you may be like, huh, why Michael Jackson? Yeah, of course, there may be several questions that come to your head. Like, for example, how could Michael Jackson connect his music to peace? Or did his music bring world peace or something like that? So I'm going to show you some of his charity work to prove it. And this slide is about a little information about Michael Jackson. Throughout his music career, he contributed more than $500 million to charity, including the UNICEF and the Red Cross and many other charities. He also wrote three songs about peace. One is Heal the World. Second is the Earth Song. Three is We Are the World. Those songs have the same purpose, is to bring and keep peace all around the world. So now I want you to focus on We Are the World. We Are the World is a project by United Support of Artists for Africa. Even though the main mission of this project was for my relief and recovery and development program in Africa, it also brought unity and peace to all around the world. And that is how Michael Jackson connected his music to peace. He was dedicated to making world peace during his lifetime. And that is why I choose Michael Jackson to be my role model for ambassador of peace. Thank you. Peace out.
All right, that's really cool. Very creative. Not the typical person we would think of when it comes to peace. Yeah, so a few comments. I like the use of pictures. That's nice. Again, we can, maybe have like keywords on the pictures and also maybe summarize it a little bit more clearly, why this person is important to you, why do you look up to this person, right? Apart from that, I think you were reading quite a bit, so try to memorize the script a bit more. Yeah, and also this is just a personal opinion here. So what's a bit dangerous in using Michael Jackson is also known or has been accused of being inappropriate with children. So when you want to use him as a role model for peace, I think that would be a question people have in their mind. Right? Okay, great. So thank you so much for that. Really enjoyed that presentation as well. ขอบคุณนะคะ Okay, let's move on to the next person.
P39 ค่ะน้องพิมพ์วรีเจริญพรค่ะ
โอเคค่ะเห็นไหมคะ
เห็นค่ะ
ได้ยินเสียงชัดเจนใช่ไหมคะ
ชัดค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ Hello everyone. Today I will talk about who is your role model for an ambassador of peace. I, Miss Kimberly Taranpon, is a 16-year-old child who loves music, even though I can sing well. But it's not what I'm like, and I'm good at doing it. K-pop is my genre that I listen to regularly and love lots. Until one day, I got to know them, BTS. BTS or Bangtan Sonyeondan. They are artists in South Korea. They are very famous. Nowadays,
many people will be familiar with their names, and they're so famous that they are widely known. Okay, they were elected to represent South Korea to speak on the topic of love myself at United Nations or UN venue by Kim Namjoon or RM. He a leader of BTS. He spoke through his childhood story to talk about the importance of loving yourself. And Namjoon or RM said, no matter who you are, where you are from, your skin color, gender, identity, speak yourself. Find your name and find your voice by speaking yourself. And the members also collaborate to create songs in album Love Myself, such as Roommate, which encourages meaning that doesn't listen to other voice. Just be happy in being yourself. From the foregoing, they have shown when they were allowed to speak at the United Nations. They want everyone to pay attention and importance of loving themselves. Therefore, not only people who are not fans love them, but also people who are fans love them more. One of them is me, who is presenting to you all. I love them and with pride until I thought that if I had a chance to speak as a representative, to speak as our royal matter quite a bit to make our world population see the importance of royal matter. In other words, the importance of peace would be good things for the Peace Ambassador project. In conclusion, BTS is my role model because this band has inspired me to choose to live in peace and to benefit society. Last, thank you for letting me convey my thought of you. Thank you, everyone. ค่ะ
Thank you. Do you want feedback in English or Thai?
เอาไทยก็ได้ค่ะ
เอาภาษาไทยนะคะ ขอโทษทีพี่ลืมถามน้องคนก่อนหน้านี้นะ เดี๋ยวถ้าใครอยากได้ฟีดแบ็กเพิ่มเติมเดี๋ยวพอเพื่อนพรีเซนต์หมดแล้วเดี๋ยวอยู่คุยกันต่อได้นะคะพี่มุรีชอบความครีเอทีฟเนาะเพราะว่าเหมือนกลวัฒน์เมื่อกี้เลยคือปกติเวลาที่เรานึกถึง Peace Role Model เราไม่ค่อยคิดถึงศิลปินเท่าไหร่นะคะแต่ว่าเห็นด้วยว่ามันเป็นใครจริงๆเป็นใครก็ได้เนาะที่อินสไปร์เราใช่ไหมคะซึ่งพี่เห็นคอนเนคชันนะว่าโอเคเขาทำเพลงขึ้นมาเพื่อให้ทุกคนรู้สึกดีกับตัวเองใช่ไหมคะมี love yourself speak your voice อย่างเงี้ยให้คนรู้สึกว่ามันโอเคนะที่เราเป็นตัวของตัวเองทีเนี้ยพี่คิดว่าเราจะต้องโยงเข้าสู่ peace ให้ strong ขึ้นกว่านี้นิดนึงเพราะว่าการรักตัวเองการรู้สึกโอเคกับตัวเองใช่ไหมคะหรือการที่เขามีศิลปินแฟนเพลงเยอะๆเนี่ย how does that relate to peace อันเนี้ยมันยังเป็น missing link อยู่นิดนึงเนาะตอนที่หนูมาปิดท้ายขมวดตอนสุดท้ายสรุปอะค่ะว่าเขาเป็น role model ของเรานะเพราะว่าเขาทำสิ่งดีๆให้กับสังคมใช่ไหมคะแต่ว่าไอ้สิ่งดีๆให้กับสังคมอะพี่คิดว่าเราสามารถอธิบายเพิ่มเติมได้มากกว่านี้นะว่าการที่เขาสร้าง positivity เนาะสร้าง message ในแง่บวกอะค่ะมันช่วยสังคมยังไงมันช่วยให้คนดีขึ้นยังไงแล้วมันสามารถ relate to peace ได้ยังไงพี่คิดว่าอันนั้นอะมันต้องแบบทำให้เหมือน strong กว่านี้นิดนึงเนาะแต่ว่าในส่วนของpresentation นะคะ manner ดีนะคะยังอ่านเยอะไปนิดนึงนะแล้วก็อยากให้เสียงดังแล้วก็แบบมีความมั่นใจมี force มากกว่านี้อีกหน่อยหนึ่งนะคะสไลด์สวยดีก็อยากให้มัน text อะค่ะมันแบบเป็นระเบียบให้มันเห็นชัดกว่านี้นิดนึงเนาะเพราะว่ามันจะมีสไลด์อันนึงใช่ไหมที่หนูมี text สองข้างอะค่ะพี่คิดว่าอาจจะแบบเหมือนทำรูปใหญ่รูปเดียวแล้วก็แบบมีเป็น text เนาะเพื่อที่ว่า เวลาคนเห็นสไลด์เราอะค่ะเขาจะได้เลือกดูได้มันจะได้มีจุดสนใจที่เคลียร์เนาะค่ะjust organization of slide แบบนิดๆหน่อยๆเท่านั้นเองแต่ว่าโดยรวมโอเคนะคะ very good job
ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ โอเค let's go to the next person
คนต่อไปนะคะพี่43ค่ะน้องการมณีรัตนาจามนค่ะ
การมณีพูดอยู่หรือเปล่าคะ
ยังนะคะน้องเมื่อกี้น้องเหมือนจะเข้ามาเลยเนาะ
โอ
น้อ
เคค่ะ
งที30ตอนนี้เหมือนน้องหลุดไปนะคะเดี๋ยวท่านเป็นคนถัดไปก่อนไหมคะโอเคค่ะเป็นน้องที57ค่ะน้องพัชราพรบุญคงค่ะ
คือหนูมีปัญหาเรื่องเปิดกล้องค่ะมันล่องหนมันเปิดกล้องไม่ได้อะค่ะ
อ่า
โอเคค่ะ แชร์สไลด์ได้ไหมคะ
เดี๋ยวก็ลองค่ะ
โอเค โอเคค่ะ เห็นสไลด์แล้วค่ะ
แป๊บนะคะเดี๋ยวเราเปิดไมค์อีกทีค่ะเราแชร์อีกทีค่ะ Hello everyone. My name is Pachapon. I'm P57. Today, I talk about opportunity and peace. When you hear the words opportunity, what's come to your mind and you sure to give a get? The present Thai social, most people think that's giving the same, the equality in mindset, but why we have something in common, but why we giving different opportunity, right and poor? There is still gap. The same standard of measurement is still used to judge people of a social crisis, because conflict compress for resources. But everyone understands its order and looks at it from a new perspective. People who have high opportunity should make scarfish to share with the less fortunate. The person who, my role model is Mr. Panya Nirangun. Oh, sorry. My role model is Panya Nirangun, the father of workpoint, the talent in the entertainment into the industry, and also the giver of many opportunity and the success of the business. The turn of giving smarting and receiving smarting and of peace that come from the person reflects on the society. Peace and peaceful. Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะพัชรพรdo you want feedback in Thai or English
In Thai ค่ะ
โอเคค่ะcreative ชอบความ creative ของน้องๆมากเลยอ่ะ พี่คิดว่าการที่เราเปิดด้วย opportunity เนี่ยนะคะแล้วก็บอกว่าแล้วไปถึงว่าแล้วมันมี giver ของ many opportunity ก็คือคุณปัญญาเนี่ยนะคะพี่คิดว่ามันเป็น structure ที่ดีนะมัน follow ง่ายแล้วก็ logic มันเคลียร์ว่าโอเค opportunity มันเป็นเรื่องที่สำคัญนะคะแทนคุณได้ค่ะเดี๋ยวให้แทนคุณไปคนต่อไปนะคะเดี๋ยวแป๊บหนึ่งทีนี้พี่คิดว่าสิ่งที่มันจะช่วยให้เห็นภาพมากขึ้นนะคะก็คือexample นะคะว่าแล้วเขาให้ opportunity กับเด็กที่ไหนบ้างใช่ไหมคะหรือว่าให้ opportunity กับใครบ้างเนาะ apart from being workpoint father of workpoint ใช่ไหมคะที่เราบอกว่าเขาให้ opportunity อย่างเงี้ยเขาให้ opportunity ยังไงแล้วมันทำให้ชีวิตคนเปลี่ยนไปยังไงบ้างเนาะเราถึงจะบอกได้ว่าโอเคเขาเป็นแบบเหมือนเขา create peace ขึ้นมาได้จริงๆค่ะโอเค
Thank
so
you.
that's feedback from me นะคะขอบคุณค่ะแทนคุณค่ะเชิญ
สักครู่นะคะ
ค่ะ
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present on topic who is your royal model for an ambassador of peace about Pan Patumutalo. Originally named Pan, surname Sanjalan, was born on Thursday, May 11, 1911. at Kuhaswan Sub-District, Mueang District, Pathalung Province. Nickname is Kham. He is a peacemaker by using Buddhism as an important medium for creating peace from within. Is a monk who traveled to spread Buddhism to Europe. In 1932, he has a first sermon was held along a Wat Pak Nakhon, Nakhon Si Thammarat Province. In 1933, he joined a group of 45 Jai Singh monks on a barefoot pilgrimage to spread the Dharma in Myanmar. In 1954, traveling to Spain, the drama to Europe and attended a meeting with the Sila Thamma Club movement (MRA) in Cologne, Switzerland. Pan Thammamuttalo book. In 1989, hailing from Phapomamankalajan in 1997, drama Rule the World. In 1998, Great Picture. In 2007, Together with Love. ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ Tan Kun, do you want feedback in Thai or English?
In Thai.
โอเคค่ะ สไลด์อ่านง่ายนะคะ แต่ว่าเหมือนเดิมเลยคือมันคำมันเยอะไปนิดหนึ่งแล้วมันทำให้เราแบบอ่านตามสไลด์ไปใช่ไหมคะเพราะฉะนั้นอาจจะแบบเอาเฉพาะคำที่สำคัญเป็นคีย์เวิร์ดเนาะสองก็คือเวลาเราซ้อมอย่างเงี้ยนะคะอย่างเมื่อสักครู่นี้เราสะดุดใช่ไหมเพราะว่าเราลืมว่ามันอ่านว่ายังไงใช่ไหมคะเพราะฉะนั้นพอเราสะดุดปั๊บมันทำให้โฟลว์มันไม่สมูทเนาะเพราะฉะนั้นเวลาที่เราฝึกเราซ้อมสคริปต์เนี่ยนะคะเราก็ฝึกให้เราสามารถอ่านออกเสียงได้ชัดเจนเนาะมันจะได้ไม่สะดุดนะคะแล้วก็ตัวเนื้อหาเนี่ยค่ะที่อยากให้เพิ่มนะคะก็คือเป็นลักษณะของ impact อะค่ะว่าผลที่ผลกระทบของ effort ของเขาอะค่ะในการที่เป็น great preacher ใช่ไหมคะสร้างความเปลี่ยนแปลงให้กับโลกหรือกับชีวิตคนยังไงบ้างหรือว่ามีลูกศิษย์เยอะขนาดไหนอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะเราจะได้เห็นว่าอ๋อนี่คือ peace in the world ที่เขาcreate ขึ้นมาโอเคไหมเอ่ย
ได้ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
ค่ะขอบคุณมากนะคะโอเค
หนู
ค่ะ
ออกก่อน
ค่ะ
ได้ไหมคะพอดีมีธุระต่อค่ะ
ได้เลยค่ะ ขอบคุณนะคะ good luck ค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ จริงๆไม่ต้องออกก็ได้
เป็นน้องการมณีตอนนี้พร้อมหรือยังคะ
โอเคค่ะ การมณีพร้อมไหมคะ ไม่ได้ยินนะคะ การมณี
ถ้างั้นเดี๋ยวเป็นน้องเหนือฝันก่อนไหมคะเหนือฝันเสือเขียวได้ยินไหมคะพร้อมไหมได้ยินไหมคะได้ยินไหมคะ
ได้ยินค่ะได้ยิน
โอเค
ตอนนี้เห็นสไลด์ไหมคะ
เห็นค่ะ
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a story. Someone. Are you ready? Let's listen. This man in childhood had physical weakness. He liked sport very much. So he practiced many different sports to reduce in the inferiority complex in childhood. And he developed himself until becoming the president and influential.
Hello, I'm Theodore Roosevelt in New York City. I was born here on October 27, 1858.
Yes, this man is Theodore Roosevelt. His nickname is Teddy. His father has a great influence on him. It's a driving force and inspiration, make him develop himself. So he graduated with very good grades and received first-class honors. Later, he became interested in becoming a politician. He later became president. When he had enough influence, he therefore thinks that he should be the representative of all people, regardless of their status. His outstanding work He a traditionalist. He supports the use of progressive law to help the poor. Second, he offered assistance to end the Russian-Japanese War by allowing the United States to be the medium for these peace talks so as not to escalate further. Why is he my role model? Because he has something similar to me, something to say. Is that mine and his health are similar, so I want to develop myself to be like him. Although not great to the point of being president, but I will do my best as a child can. My concept is, even if he had did something bad and made no peace, I will only follow the good he had done as an example. Thank you to listening.
ขอบคุณค่ะเหนือฟ้า very nice video นะคะ this is one of the things that we can do with PowerPoint presentation, right? So this is a comment for everyone. So apart from just showing pictures, you can also put in like a short video clip as well to make it more
ขอ
interesting.
เป็นภาษาไทยได้ไหมคะ
อ๋อโอเคขอโทษค่ะ ได้ค่ะเมื่อกี้นี้วิดีโอน่าสนใจดีนะคะแล้วก็ไม่ได้ยาวไปเนาะก็ถือว่าเป็นสิ่งที่ทำได้ดีนะคะเอาวิดีโอมาสั้นๆอย่างเงี้ยเนาะมันก็แบบเหมือนช่วยสร้างจุดสนใจให้กับ PowerPoint ของเราแล้วก็ PowerPoint ที่ทำมาเนี่ยดีมากเลยอ่านง่ายนะคะแล้วก็คำไม่เยอะจนเกินไปมีภาพเคลื่อนไหวบ้างก็ถือว่าแบบมีจุดสนใจดีในทุกอันนะคะที่อยากให้เพิ่มนะคะหนึ่งก็คือเรื่องการอ่านเหมือนอ่านสคริปต์เยอะไปเนาะอันนี้ก็นะคะคิดว่าซ้อมแล้วก็ให้มันเหมือนกับคล่องแล้วก็ออกมาจากเราเองดีกว่าเนาะแทนที่เราจะอ่านสคริปต์นะคะอันนี้เรื่องหนึ่งสองคือตอนพี่ชอบที่หนูบอกว่าเรามีหลายอย่างที่เหมือนกันใช่ไหมคะมีa lot in common หรือ similarities ใช่ไหมทีเนี้ยอยากให้ยกตัวอย่างนะคะเพื่อให้มันเห็นภาพมากขึ้นว่าแล้วไอ้ความคล้ายกัน similarity พวกเนี้ยคืออะไรบ้างใช่ไหมคะอย่างเช่นอะไรอย่างเงี้ยไม่รู้อะว่าคือเหมือนกันโอเคเข้าใจแหละว่ามีบางอย่างเหมือนกันใช่ไหมเราถึงยกย่องเขาเป็น role model หรือว่าเป็น ambassador ใช่ไหมคะแต่น่าจะขยายเพิ่มอีกนิดนึงว่ามันคืออะไรเนาะแล้วการที่เราเอาเขาเป็น role model เนี่ยมันช่วย inspire ให้เราอะทำอะไรเนาะค่ะประมาณนั้นแต่ว่า good job นะคะทำได้ดี
ขอบคุณ
ขอบ
ค่ะ
คุณมากค่ะ โอเค
ต่อไป
เหลือ
น้องการมณีค่ะ โอเคไหม
การมณี on mute อยู่หรือเปล่าคะ อ๋อ โอเค หนูอยากดาวน์อินเข้ามาใหม่ไหมคะ ลองดู โอเค ได้เลย ระหว่างที่รอการมณีค่ะ มีคำถามอะไรเพิ่มเติมไหมเอ่ย ถามอะไรก็ได้ เพราะว่าเรายังมีเวลาอยู่เยอะพอสมควรเลย ถือว่าเป็นคลินิก เป็นคลินิกเล็กๆ มีอะไรปรึกษาหรือว่ามีอะไรแบบอันนี้หนูไม่แน่ใจว่าทำยังไงอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะทำได้เลยนะ การมณีกำลังดาวอินเข้ามาใหม่อยู่หรือเปล่าคะอ๋อโอเคเข้ามาละ
โอเคค่ะ อันนี้ได้ยินไหมคะโทษที
โอเคได้ยินแล้วค่ะ
โอเคค่ะโทษทีค่ะพอดีว่าเหมือนคอมมันน่าจะไม่ค่อยดี แล้วก็เปิดกล้องไม่ได้นะคะ เพราะว่าแล็ปท็อปเหมือนมีปัญหาค่ะ
โอเคค่ะไม่เป็นไร
ได้ค่ะเดี๋ยวแชร์สกรีนแป๊บนึงนะคะ โอเคค่ะ อันนี้เห็นสกรีนใช่ไหมคะ
เห็นค่ะ แต่ว่ายังไม่ได้เป็น presentation mode
อ๋อได้ค่ะได้ โอเคค่ะ Today I would like to talk about my role model of the Ambassador of Peace. So I was talking about the Park Yeon-mi. She was born in 4th October in 1993 in the North Korean. She has acted with her whole family to the North, from North Korean to the China in 2007, and she started to move to South Korean in 2009 before moving again to the United States in 2014. Here is Park Yeon-mi. The reason that I choose her, it's because I knew her after she's speaking in the One Young World Summit in 2014 in Dublin, Ireland. And her YouTube video is really famous. They have like around more than 2 million views in her videos. So in that video, she's speaking about the freedoms and the peace in North Korean. As you know, North Korean is the one country that don't have any freedoms and peace in the country. Well, for me, they're just having a peace by force the citizens to follow the rules, and if they are not follow the rule, they will get like some punishment. Yeah, so the people in the country have to follow the rule and have a peace, but it's not a real kind of peace for me. So I think we need the real peace in North Korean because of this and this. Well, this one is the pictures of the punishment in North Korea when they're like fight. When the North Korean people have fight, right? They won't listen to the like they won't listen their reasons, like yeah, they just use like emotions and like rude punishment. I mean, if one of the people get like fight or some punishment, the whole family have to like get the punishment. Yeah, and also the punishment is really rude. They will use them like really hard and don't give them a food. So here's the Park Yeon-mi when she speak in One Young World about the North Korean freedom and a peace problem. So she was spoke about the way that the North Koreans being like real way. So she's my idol because she's let me know what's really happening in North Korean. Because when I was listening like the normal news, they would just only talk about the North Korean, like it's like normal like country, like nothing is happening there. But when she's like spoke to me and like another people in the world have known that there was like non-peace in North Korean, so that's why she's my idol. Thanks for listening.
Okay, that's very good. Well done on the slide. A little bit too many words. But I appreciate the pictures and also the stories about what's really going on in North Korea. So that's refreshing, right? Like with real life story like that can be very powerful. And I understand from your speech why this is important, right? Like why this level of courage is admirable. So that's very good. I think just a little bit on the structure of the presentation. So we went from knowing who Park Yeon-mi was to what's happening in North Korea, and then back to Park Yeon-mi. So I think maybe organize it in a more structural way. Like we can talk about, situation in North Korea, and then this young lady came forward and speak the truth about it, right? And why that is admirable. So kind of make it into like one thing at the time. So that would make it easier to follow. Another thing to make it better is, I think you were saying like a lot, and that is something that we should try to limit. So it kind of disrupt the flow. And I think, with more practice and more being intentional of not saying filler words, that would make it more powerful speech. All
โอ
right.
เคค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะ
ค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ So I think that's everyone ใช่ไหมคะ หมดแล้วใช่ไหมเอ่ย
หมดแล้วค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ